hello everyone, and happy fall! We're finally officially in spooky season, even though it's September and it's hot in Florida. So I'm calling it spooky season. We're doing it. So welcome to fall time. It's been a while since I've done one of these TBR videos. I know I did put out a spooky TBR, I think maybe a couple years ago. I figured it's been a little while since I've done one of those videos, and I have some very exciting books that I wanted to read this year, or have been on my TBR for so long that I've never had a chance to actually read them. So we're gonna make it happen. I'll start with the books that I'm currently reading right now, since I have one ebook and one audiobook that I'm on. So the first one that I'm on is The Outsider by Stephen King. This is the first of the spin-off series following Holly from the Mr. Mercedes trilogy. I'll read the official description from Goodreads, that way you'll have a chance to understand what this is about. An unspeakable crime, a confounding investigation. At a time when the King brand has never been stronger, he has delivered one of his most unsettling and compulsively readable stories. An 11-year-old boy's violated corpse is found in a town park. Eyewitnesses and fingerprints point unmistakably to one of Flint City's most popular citizens. He is Terry Maitland, Little League coach, English teacher, husband, and father of 2 girls. Detective Ralph Anderson, whose son Maitland once coached, orders a quick and very public arrest. Maitland has an alibi, but Anderson and the district attorney soon add DNA evidence to go with the fingerprints and witnesses. Their case seems ironclad. As the investigation expands and horrifying answers begin to emerge, King's propulsive story kicks into high gear, generating strong tension and almost unbearable suspense. Terry Maitland seems like a nice guy, but is he wearing another face? When the answer comes, it will shock you as only Stephen King can. Yeah, so I did start that last night, because like I said, well actually no, I didn't say. I finished the Bill Hodges trilogy yesterday. I finally finished End of Watch, so I want to get to Holly's stories in order to finally be able to read Holly, which came out last year, which is still on my TBR, but I'm working my way through her series. I'm roughly about 60 to 70 pages in. It is a little slow, but I'm very excited to see where it goes and how it gets there. So that's The Outsider by Stephen King. So the other book I'm on right now as an audiobook through Spotify is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This follows a young witch in Britain who has to go live at this manor and teach younger girls how to be witches, because in this environment, witches are not allowed to contact one another unless it's an organized meeting, and they're not allowed to live together, they're not allowed to practice magic together. But our main character, Mika Moon, gets invited to essentially become the governess for these 3 young witches. And it's supposed to be like this cozy little mystery. It's supposed to be a romance between her and like this grumpy librarian that's also working at this house. So that's a very fun and cute book. I think I'm probably maybe 30 to 40% of the way through that, but it's very quirky, it's very fun, it's very wholesome. Yeah, those are the books I'm currently on right now. And then for the other books that I want to read this year, I've got probably about 5 that I currently have in my possession. So I'm just gonna go in the order based on how I have it stacked here, not out of any ranking. It's just, oh yeah, this is how I grabbed it. So the first one I've got is Angela Carter's short story collection, The Bloody Chamber. These are all horror retellings of classic fairy tales. I know I have talked about wanting to do a video based on Angela Carter's stories, and due to that, it has not happened. I'm sorry. It's just life and work have gone in the way, but I definitely want to tackle this short story collection this fall and this spooky season. And plus, I've heard great things about the Red Riding Hood story that she does in here, because it's the basis for a 1980s movie, The Company of Wolves, that has Angela Lansbury in it. I really want to watch that. So I'm gonna get to this and we're gonna make it happen. So, The Bloody Chamber, Angela Carter, verse 1. The next one that I'm hoping to tackle is House of Leaves. This is the one I got for Christmas a couple years ago, and it's supposed to be sort of told epistolarian style where it has a collection of authors and contributors that are telling the story through different mediums. So I think you have one that's like poetry, you have one that's written in code. So, and it's supposed to be very scary and spooky. And this, it's going to be a huge book, but I think I can tackle this. I'm very excited to get to this, so House of Leaves. This next one I actually heard about through a local author that was promoting her works at my Barnes & Noble, I think, a couple of years ago. So this is The Houses of Lorien Hollow, the soundtrack to your Scream. So this is by Sarah Cito. I'll read the back so that way it makes more sense. Okay, narration voice time. Okay. Draped in Spanish moss and drowning in the scent of orange blossoms, Southern tradition permeates the everyday life of the old Florida town of Lorien Hollow. October welcomes the town's 500th anniversary. To mark the momentous occasion, a slew of ritualistic murders plagues the hollow. The killings are so horrifying, the town works quickly to bury the truth, like corpses in the swamp. As the body count climbs, the mortal guardians, who police the immortals involved dwelling within the town, find themselves the victims of the very crimes they are investigating. As the killings intensify, so do the revelations about Lorien Hollow and the dark secrets the founding families are harboring. Secrets abound, more sinister than the murders themselves. Ooh. So I actually am very excited. This, like I said, this was one that a local author was promoting, so I definitely do want to give this story a chance. And it also came with like little postcard stuff too. So this is really cool. Why does that one look... Okay, is it just me or does that guy look like Henry Cavill? I mean, I literally don't know anything about this, but I'm super hyped. I cannot wait to finally get to this, so this is definitely going on here. Houses of Lorien Hollow. Next up, because I had read Frankenstein, I think a couple years ago, I also want to get to the vampire classic, Dracula. Not the original vampire classic, because that title belongs to Carmilla, but yeah, Dracula, it's finally gonna happen. I'm so excited. So I did read a graphic novel of this story last year. I wasn't that impressed by it, while the art was very cool, but I'm willing to give this story another chance. And I think one of the reasons that drew me to this specific edition is that there are illustrations throughout the story, so that way if I get overwhelmed by the actual content, I can just look at the spade edges and be impressed. And also there's little doodles like this, and plus it's a very pretty edition of this too. And look at these little dudes. So yeah, illustrated version of Dracula. And the last of the physical books is, of course, Holly Jackson's The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I meant to read this over the summer, and like I said, life and work just got in the way of things, so I definitely want to tackle this book this fall. So this follows a woman, or a young woman, who goes missing, and her daughter years later is being involved in a docuseries that's following the mom's disappearance, but then surprise surprise, the mom shows back up, so it's trying to figure out what happened to her and where she's been and what kind of secrets she could be running from or hiding from her own daughter. So very excited to finally get to this fall. Holly Jackson is one of my favorite authors of all time, and literally anything she puts out I will read. Even if it's a grocery list, I don't care. I will read this. So yeah, The Reappearance of Rachel Price. Okay, so yeah, these are all the books that I want to try to tackle this fall, and if I do have any more, I will keep y'all updated as best I can. So yeah, I'm very excited. It's gonna be a good reading session for me, hopefully this year, and I can't wait to continue celebrating more fall. And also, look at that beauty. That's my little spooky Halloween tree, and we love her. She's fantastic. So that's all I've got. So happy spooky season, happy fall, and happy reading, and I will catch y'all eventually somewhere else on the internet. So thank you, and have a great rest of your day.